Hello, my friends. Today we are going to do a flight, and while I'm setting things up, I'm going to just give you a premise of what I'm going to talk about today, or what I'm going to do today. I decided I want to, do some puns. So I've got some jokes here, and let's just go through a few of them. This could easily be something where you could challenge yourself not to laugh, because some of these are really bad. So slide off your shoes and sit back and enjoy as the next 10 minutes I berate you with some good and some bad puns. Here we go. What did the pen say to the other pen? You're incredible. It was easy for me to master Braille once I got a feel for it. What did the one eye say to the other eye? Between you and me, something smells. I asked my dad once, can you put my shoes on? He responded, I don't think they'd fit me. If a man tells dad jokes and he has no kids, does that make him a faux pas? When I realized that I was afraid of elevators, I started taking steps to avoid them. As a child, it was my dream to make a perfect bar of soap. Somehow it slipped away from me. Did you hear about the man who invented the knock-knock joke? He won the Nobel Prize. If you don't know the nickname for someone with no body and no nose, nobody knows. What do you call a depressed traffic jam? Bummer to bummer traffic. I couldn't figure out how to fasten my seatbelt. Then it clicked. What is email's least favorite food? Spam. I left my PC on all night, and when I woke up, it was freezing. Turns out I left the windows open. I could tell you a joke about chemistry, but I doubt it would get a good reaction. What do you do with a dead chemist? You bury him. How do iron workers order their steaks? Well done. Did you hear about the bored banker? He lost interest in everything. What did the janitor shout when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies! What is the worst drink for a soccer player? Penalty. Why did the farmer fence in the bull? She had too much of a stake in him to let him go. What do you call a magician who's lost his magic? Ian. Did you hear about the farmer that plowed his field with a steamroller? He wanted mashed potatoes. What did the magician say when he made his rabbit disappear? Here today, gone tomorrow. Why is it important to stay quiet in a pharmacy? Because you don't want to wake the sleeping pills. I can't say that I was too surprised when the price of balloons went up. There's always inflation in that business. In a court of law, which president would be the least guilty? That would be Abraham Lincoln. He was innocent. What do you call a rich man who spends all of his money on 17th century paintings and classical instruments? Baroque. How do you stop a bull from charging you? Take away its credit card. Come on. Did you hear about the skunk that was arrested for counterfeiting? Apparently he gave out bad scents. Why did the Clydesdale give the pony a glass of water? Because he was a little horse. What dog loves to take bubble baths? That would be a shampoodle. What would you call a crafty pig? A Cunningham. What is the difference between a tuba and a fish? You can tune a tuba, but you can't tune a fish. What do you call a cat that's joined the Red Cross? A first aid kitten. There was a gentleman going to work one morning, and he was talking to his wife while he was doing so. And while they were conversing, she happened to see the news, and there was a report going on about somebody driving backwards on the freeway. And she said, "Holy cow, honey, there's somebody driving backwards on the freeway." Then he responded back, "What do you mean somebody? Everybody's driving backwards on the freeway today." How does a bird with a broken wing manage to land safely? With its sparrow chute. Out of all the animals, which one is the least interesting? A boar. A friend of mine walked up to me one day and he said, "I don't get it, my friend. I've been asking people what IDK stands for all day, and everybody just responds, I don't know." Took my dog to the vet because he swallowed a whole bunch of Scrabble tiles. No word yet. What did the orca say to his Valentine? Will you be mine? What is the biggest pan in the world? Japan. Which one is smarter, longitude or latitude? It's got to be longitude because it's got 360 degrees. What do you call the place where parrots make films? Pollywood. What birds would you find in Portugal? Portuguese. In what U.S. city would you find the most cows? New York. Dad, what rhymes with orange? No, it doesn't. Well, what is the left side of an apple? The part you didn't eat. Not too surprisingly, if you have 2 banana peels, you've got a pair of slippers. No matter what you do, if you tell enough cheesy jokes at work, people will become lactose intolerant. What would you find served at chicken birthdays? Coop cakes. On the subject of parties, when astronauts party, how do you think they get it ready for it? They plan it. But sometimes astronauts don't plan very well. I guess they built a restaurant on the moon one time. It had really good food, but no atmosphere. What did one plate say to the other plate? Lunch is on me. 2 muffins are in an oven. One turns to the other and says, "Is it getting hot in here to you?" The other one looks back and says, "Ah, a talking muffin!" When 2 burgers fall in love, they will live together in holy matrimony. Did you hear about the cookie that went to the doctor? It was feeling kind of crummy. There was a pastry once upon a time that wanted to rule the world. Its name was Attila the Bun. To the guy who invented zero, thanks for nothing. You know, a while ago I thought it would be a fun idea to make a belt out of watches. Turned out it was a waste of time. In a shocking turn of events, the skunk said, "It's all coming back to me," when the direction of the wind changed. I stayed up all night, wondering where the sun went. Then it dawned on me. Funny enough, there is a vegetable that needs a plumber. A leek. Did you hear about the donut maker who was retiring? He said he was fed up with the whole business, and he had enough dough to keep him happy through retirement. The bakery was really sad. They really needed him. I was hoping you'd get a rise out of that joke. I'll stop loafing around, I promise. Seriously, that joke is toast by now. Did you hear about the music director who got struck by lightning? At first, everyone was shocked. At his funeral, they said he was a great conductor. What does Batman like in his drinks? Just ice. What do you yell at a cheese thief? That's nacho cheese. What would you call a fake noodle? An impasta. How did the hipster burn his tongue? He drank his coffee before it was cool. What do you call a cat that likes to eat lemons? A sourpuss. Where do typists like to go get a drink? At a space bar. To the person who stole the copy of my Microsoft Office. I will find you. You have my word. Sorry, that joke didn't excel very well. How did the monster cure its sore throat? He spent all day gargling. I heard at one point in time a ghost tried to be a comedian, but he was booed off stage. 3 conspiracists enter a bar. Now, you can't say that's not a coincidence. Stairs cannot be trusted. They're always up to something. You know, I can't stand elevator music. It's bad on so many levels. It's illegal to laugh out loud in Hawaii. They only allow aloha. My recliner and I go way back. Why are there no knock-knock jokes about America? Because freedom rings. You want to hear a joke about construction? You'll have to wait for it. I'm still working on it. I'd tell you a joke about beds, but it hasn't been made up yet. Story time! A man's dog was hit by a car. He quickly took his dog to the vet, and he had the vet examine him. The vet very quickly determined that the dog was going to die. And this owner was so distraught, he said, "Is there any possible way we could get another opinion?" And the doctor said, "Well, you know, I've got this cat that's pretty good at diagnosing things. Let's bring it in." And so he brought in the cat, and the owner consented, and they brought in the cat, and the cat sniffed around. Meow. And the doctor came back and says, "The cat says that your dog's gonna die." And he's like, "Oh man, I can't help, I can't accept this. This dog is precious to me. Is it possible for us to get another opinion?" So the vet said, "You know, I've got a dog that's pretty good at identifying these things. Let's bring the dog in. Gentleman says, yes, let's do this. Dog comes around in, sniffs around, then bows its head and says, woof. And the doctor comes back and says, the dog says your dog is going to die. And the gentleman's like, fine, I guess I'm going to have to accept that. Okay, how much is the bill? Well, the doctor comes back and says the bill's $3,000. The man says, what? Why is it $3,000? The vet responded, it was only $10 for my assessment, but then you asked for a lab report and a CAT scan. Well, 10 minutes of this punishment has got to be daunting, but I'm glad you guys stuck it out. That's all I got for you today. There's plenty more where this came from. Have a good day. Bye-bye.